In this video, I want to introduce trigonometry. As a piece of math that does nothing more than answering one simple question. And the question that trigonometry should be answering for us here is that if we start at the origin of a graph with a circle and we go up, let's say we go up 60 degrees. If we go up 60 degrees from the origin on a circle, trigonometry should answer the question for us: what is the x-coordinate of our point on the circle, and what is the y-coordinate of the point on the circle? And just to be making up names for things here, if we were thinking about creating trigonometry ourselves, we could go on and call the x position the cosine of 60 degrees, and we could call the y position the sine of 60 degrees. And this is the basis of trigonometry, is these two functions, the cosine function, which is the cosine function, and then of course the sine function. And these two functions answer the question. Cosine answers the question, what is the x position? What is the x position? And sine answers the question, what is the y position? What is the y position? These two functions are core to trigonometry. And you may have heard people say, oh, trigonometry, it's all about triangles, right? If you have a right triangle, right as in it has a right angle right there, and it has a hypotenuse of length 1, and let's say it's a 30-degree triangle, you hear people getting all crazy and saying the cosine of 30 here, the cosine of 30, and the sine of 30, and they say that the sine of the 30 is the opposite over the hypotenuse, and that the cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. And this is most certainly a true fact, but I don't think that it provides an intuitive feel for what the sine and the cosine are trying to do. The sine and the cosine are inherently answering a question about circles, not necessarily about triangles. And indeed, you can extend out here. You can draw a right triangle here on the circle, and you can say the x position, this is going to be, because this circle has radius 5 here, this is going to be not the cosine of 60, but just 5 times the cosine of 60. And the y position is going to be 5 times the sine of 60. And this is all well and good, but I want you to be thinking about the circle element of trigonometry whenever possible, because I think thinking about circles makes it all a lot easier. And in the next video, before we even get into the more symbolic and numerical understanding of the sine and cosine, I just want to point out some interesting facts and some interesting behavior that arises when you think of the sine and the cosine in terms of a rotation around a circle.